In this morning's Your Legal Brief, we are talking about the Violence Against Women Act. Earlier this month, we told you the House voted to reauthorize the 25-year-old law that helps victims of domestic and sexual violence, adding stricter provisions now regarding domestic abusers and gun ownership. Joining me this morning, Amanda Cubit with Sodoma Law Union to discuss. Let's just start with, what is the Violence Against Women Act in the first place? What all does it entail?
It's federal legislation that was originally enacted in 1994, and it is designed to provide further protections for domestic violence. So provides funding for domestic violence shelters, to promote education, promote prevention, and just further those protections that are needed in the community.
Now, the issue, though, is that this expired at the end of last year. It has now passed the House, as we said, but where do we stand in terms of needing to get it back in the legal books?
So right now it's with the Senate. It has passed the House. During the government shutdown is when it expired, so we need it to be reauthorized. As it stands, any grants that have already been awarded are not going to be affected, but future grants may not be funded if we don't get it put back through the House.
Now, explain also what you were telling me about beforehand in the commercial break in terms of what the provision includes and doesn't include, more importantly, what it doesn't include, because not every partner is considered in this.
That's right. So as it stands, the current law prohibits certain people who have been convicted of a crime of domestic violence from purchasing a firearm. It does not include dating partners. So you had to have been married or have a child with your victim in order to be prohibited from purchasing that firearm.
In other words, there's no protection for someone who is just in a more casual dating relationship with someone, which is the concern there.
Exactly.
Okay. When we talk about stalking, what is the actual legal definition of that? Because a lot of people, different people can mean different things. And of course, now you've got not only in-person actions or over the phone or things, but you've also got things like cyber stalking to take into account. That's
right. So in North Carolina, we loop together stalking and harassment. So it's a mouthful of a legal definition, but the important thing to remember is that it's repeated conduct. It's not just one instance, and it's designed to harass the other person, and it would reasonably be thought to put them in fear for their safety.
When you talk about how big of an issue this is, how big of a problem, legally speaking, what are we talking about statistics in terms of what we see, reported cases, I guess, at least, for stalking?
As far as the statistics of it's out there. I mean, it's growing, and with social media, you're seeing it more and more. It's not just the traditional case of following someone or showing up at their house, watching them, showing up at work. It's now the repeated text messages, Facebook messages, social media postings, and again, it torments and terrorizes the victim, and that's the problem. So,
you know, if there's a good news side to that, I guess the one part of that is it is easier to track when it's done electronically, right?
That's
if you have text messages, if you have Facebook messages, etc. So what do you want people to know in terms of protecting themselves and being able to track all of that type of thing? What should victims know, legally speaking, that they need to be keeping track of?
Keep track of everything. Take a screenshot of everything. What we see, the problem are these fake profiles that are out there, and then you've got to track the IP address. And that's when it's helpful to get an attorney involved, talk to the professionals, and they can go that step further.
Amanda Cubit, Sodoma Law Union, thank you so much. Very important information, helping to get results to keep folks safe. We appreciate the time.
Thank you.
Thank you.